Hi guys, I'm live. I'm in the hippie room, and I'm going to be changing my strings on my guitar my pink Jim Jr. guitar that I broke a string on about 2 weeks ago or a week ago or something, and I didn't have the money until now to actually buy strings to place it and to string it up again, and I thought I would go live doing that. So this is the strings I use. It seems to be flaring. I don't know. Let's see if I can get a better view. Somewhere like maybe like this. This is strings I use, Super Slinky 9 to 42. And before I do that, I want to make a comment about the video that Moderator and I did. He apologized for railroading me. Basically, for like 5 times I wanted to talk, and he wouldn't let me talk, and it's my channel. He apologized, but also we needed to kind of deal with the haters. So it wasn't like he was just free form doing that like he always would do that. He needed to say something, and it needed to be said, and it had to go by script and all that. And at the end of it, he just kind of started going off on his own tangent and still not letting me talk. So that's normally not cool. Normally, if he wants to compete with my channel, he's got his channel to do that on. But since it was about a message of that needed to be said to haters, I let it go. Because if he wants to, you don't go on my channel and not let me talk and then act like you're like the boss of everything. I normally could have just deleted that, but because it's an important topic and it needed to be said, and there was a part at the beginning where we actually did interact some. He didn't just railroad me the whole video. He didn't just not let me talk the whole video. So if that would have been the case, I still probably would have deleted it. But because I interacted well with him at first, in the first half or so of the video, and because it's an important message about hate, I let it go. But he apologized, and normally, if you want to compete with my channel, you got your channel, dude. But I just needed to say that, but now I'm good. That's why that's on there. That's why he was allowed to do that, and he apologized as well. If he wouldn't have apologized and said, "Well, what's your problem?" I could have just deleted the damn thing, but I didn't do that. So anyway, so I'm going to be changing the strings on this Jim Jr. It's had a busted 4D string for like so long, and that's not good for floating tremolos, because it makes them out of whack if you set it long enough. It's not like a fixed bridge where it doesn't really matter. It can sit there for a year and it's okay. But with these floating tremolos, they're very finicky, and it's good to change them as soon as you break the string. It's good to change it, but I didn't have the money to buy a pack of strings. I mean, I literally have the money to buy a pack of strings. I just have other things I got to do, like my mortgage, for my trailer, for my shack, my grocery cart that I took from whatever store and now live in. LOL. Just kidding. So okay, so let's see, document this process or whatever. Also, I think I got a cool tip from Carlos Jr., one of my fans that works there. She said that actually there's a thing on Facebook, "Where's Jimmie?" It's like "Where's Waldo?" You can actually track where I am and get points. Like on my walks, there's a little thing on Facebook. You can say, "Where Jimmie's right over here," and tracking me is like a game on this Facebook app, or part of Facebook, which is an app, I guess. I think that's cool. I get a lot of, like my channel or not, talk shit on my channel or not, I got a lot of people that love me in my towns, Temecula, Murrieta, and I get a lot of fans, that let me know every day that I'm cared for and loved, And if I'm not, they make me feel like I am, which is still second best, still good in and of itself. Even if it's not true, they make me feel that way, and that's got to count for something. Maybe not everything, but something. So I wind them up like this when I throw them away, so that they don't, just not just all over the place. And then I got some cool things to play too. I'm not just a string changer on my channel. But since I'm doing that and I have to do it anyway, I thought I might as well invite you guys and go live. If nobody watches it, I can just delete it. You know me, I love to delete. I have no right to, of course. It's only my content and my show, my my channel, but I have no right to delete anything. That's just some kind of an unwritten rule. LOL. How dare I delete something that I actually made myself? Like, if I made a recording, how dare I erase it? I mean, I have no right to erase something I did. Everything's got to go down in antiquity. Anyway, whatever. So here's my strings. Did not get the guitar center because I'm not allowed in there. But that does not mean I'm not able to buy anything anywhere of all time forever. That's what all time means. I have there's still, you know, there still is. And plus, if I weren't able to, you can always buy that stuff online. But I like to go into a real place. So haters have fun with that one, huh? Twist that all you want. Make that into something really cool for your end of things. What I just said. I mean, sure you can twist something up on that. Come on, what kind of haters do we have here anyway? So, and then I did my video on hate myself. Nobody really watched it, but I needed to say that for myself. You know, I did my video where I addressed haters myself. And if nobody watches it, well, boo-hoo. I put it on there for me. I needed to say that. You guys don't need me to say it again. It's on the video, and this isn't that video. So if you don't wonder what I'm talking about, maybe go watch the video. If you don't care, well, that's good for you. Okay, so this is the first string. I usually do them first to sixth. I do the little strings first. This is how I do it. When you buy the pack, the big string is on top, but I reverse that order. I like to put the little strings on first. Makes me feel like I'm starting with the most dainty part of it so that the finest detail gets accounted for. If you start with a big string, I'm not sure if that's the case. I feel more like I'm doing every detail if I start with the finest strings. The ones that are the littlest get the most first attention, because that way I think it makes me feel, at least, and that detail has been accounted for in the process of string changing. So this is boring to you guys. No, don't watch it. I always just delete it later. Fine with me. No big deal. How many videos do I have on my channel? 6,000. Like I really have to keep every video. So this is the 9 string, 9 gauge, 9 millimeter probably. You know, I notice you guys do, and you guys also enjoy. I'm not going to say do enjoy, but I'm going to say also enjoy my rantings about math I do on my front porch of my trailer here, my shack. That's cool. It's not my main thing. It's not what I do, but I did it. I used to do math, you know, and a lot of these ideas I tell you guys are things that I actually thought of in math. I know you guys have math books you can look things up on, but I tend to show things that are at least semi-original thought on my part. I did some original thinking there. It wasn't just, I can read this in a book. Now let me read it to you. It's actually ideas in math that I've thought of, like the one about integrating to find the volume formula for the volume of a sphere, and as you integrate to find the formula for the area of a circle. That's new material. That's not, haven't read that in any book. Not that woohoo that means anything, but I haven't. And then the trick about how to find that the derivative of log of x is 1 over the derivative of log of x dx is 1 over x. That's the little trick I got on my own too. And of course, that doesn't mean I'm the only one who's ever thought of it, but I did think of it. So there's that. So I'm putting this in here like this. You have to clamp it in here. You cut the ball of it off. There's a lot of things that saying take that, haters. And then stick it in this the locking bridge. The floating bridge, is it the floating bridge or the locking bridge? It's kind of both, right? It floats, but it also locks the string in there. Stick it in here like this. It's gonna have some. And if I'm ranting, well, I just woke up. So there's that eternal excuse for anything I say or do. I'm not responsible because I just woke up. Of course, does that imply if I were doing it in my sleep, I would be responsible? Because now that I'm awake, I'm not responsible. But if you think I do in my sleep, oh yeah, you better count that on the record. I hold I put the whammy bar in the bridge while I change the strings to keep it in good position because it wants to stay where you have it. And people put in I've heard people put an eraser down there, like a rubber eraser and stuff. But why not just use the whammy bar? Just put it about level, so that when I put the string on it, it seems to do better than if I just let it fall wherever it goes. Of course, now I am doing that because I only have two hands, and it takes two hands to do this. But in a minute, when I tighten it, I'm gonna put my hand back on the whammy bar. That's my way of leveling off the thing. So when you put the strings on, they're kind of more level than not level. And like I said already, the string stayed off of here way too long. I hope that doesn't affect the action of the guitar or any of that problematically, because it was sat there with a broken string for about a week. Not really good for it, but it's all right. I think it'll heal. Anyway. What's funny about math, since I was talking about math, what's funny about math is that it's coming back to me. I'm not trying for it, Why do I care about math? I don't. But my mind is starting to remember a lot of the math I learned or did or studied or blah, blah, blah. It's like math is coming back to me for some reason. Like Fourier transform. In fact, sometimes I know it better in some levels than I did in college because I've had more time to think about it. And you go to Harvard College, you better already know your shit or just try to struggle to even stay afloat because they put so much workload on you. You don't really have time to learn that much. You're not there to sit there and relax and learn concepts. Even though that would be nice, and if you're smart enough or know it already, if you don't know it already, you don't really need to learn it, do you? But if you're so smart, you can just ace the test and then have leisure time to study from the heart, then I guess that would work. But if your IQ is less than 200, as I assume mine is, it's hard to do that. It's hard to go there and really learn when you have so much work to do. You just have to do the work and hope you learn something. Because I did a lot of work where I didn't really learn it until later on. It dawned on me later, oh, that's what that was. But at the time, I didn't have time to learn. Sorry, I'm just calling it like it is. There's so much work, so much there's so much to learn, you almost don't learn anything. And you guys going to get that paradox? Like, if I shove 5 ideas in your face, you could probably maybe learn them. But if I shove 400 ideas in your face, you're not going to learn anything. But if you have to do that because I'm telling you to, you'll do it. But you didn't really learn as much as if I just would have put 5 things in your face instead of 400, that kind of thing. But I have a good brain. I think. Oh, it just glitched there. Sorry about that. No, just kidding. No, I retained it in my memory. I just didn't have time to analyze it at the time. But now I'm going back and remembering it and actually learning it. Like I'm actually learning what that meant and what that really was. Of course, 40 years later, you'd think I would learn something by then, wouldn't you? But that's what's happening. Either way, that's what's happening. It's like I'm finally starting to dawn on me what I was supposed to learn is finally dawning on me for some reason. Dawning, D-A-W-N. That's like it's arising in my mind. I'm learning it, like I'm actually learning it, almost as if I really am learning it for the first time. Only it really isn't, because I know the math looks familiar. But I didn't understand it like I do now. So there's that. And if you can understand something, to me, it's a different level of learning, Who wants computers and even Google can crank out formulas, but can Google understand? Can Google really understand, or does it just know the answer? There's a difference. The Chinese have a saying, one knows more than one understands. You know more than you understand. You know a lot of stuff you don't understand. I know the sky is blue, but do I understand why? Not really, but I know it's blue, but do I understand that? Do I understand why the sky is blue but not red? Why? Why isn't it yellow or green or purple? It just happens to be blue. It doesn't mean you know why just because you know it's true. So there's that. But there isn't that. No. Well, this one's getting tough. This one's starting hard. Give me trouble getting it out of here. So let me just make sure it's really loose and just yank on it. Geez, you shouldn't want to have to yank too hard because that you don't want to. With metal, you don't want to stress or strain things too much. And there's a difference between stress and strain in metallurgy. You think they're the same word, but they're not. Strain is one thing, stress is another for materials engineering, which I took a little bit of. Barely remember. But stress is different than strain. I don't really know why right now. I got it out of there, but I know that there is a difference because I remember knowing that. I remember knowing that, so I know something. I know that I knew it, so that I still know something, even though I don't know it, but I know that I knew it, so I know something. Okay. The strings are corroded probably and stuck in there with time just being in there. Okay, so that was taking off the second string now. And I'm sorry if this is boring to you guys. If it is, well, I get it, you know. I have great things in store musically. I'm not. This is not my go-to move. I just want to sit here and change strings. I got all kinds of cool musical stuff for you guys, which I'm not just saying to promote nothing. I actually mean that. I've got some good ideas, good stuff. Take it or leave it. That's what I'm telling you. I do. Now where's my dikes? Dad used to call them that. It sounds like a different word for some other things as well, but that's what they call these clippers, dikes. Okay. In fact, I have cool musical things that I don't even want to talk about because they're cool, and I want them to kind of be fresh and surprising. I don't want to just say everything I'm doing right now. I just want to keep some of it a surprise. If that's okay. If it's not okay, then don't let me. Don't let me not say it if it's not okay. Just make me say it. And that's what I get. If it's not okay, then not say it. So go ahead, do your God thing. Make me talk when I don't even feel like it. But, you know, just kidding. Okay, second string. This is so boring and the tedious. But it has to be done, right? You can't just let a guitar not have strings. Would you rather me not do this at all and just have this guitar go to waste because I was too lazy to put strings on it? Don't think so. I hate doing the dishes, but it's what I have to do to be able to go on my walk, which I like to do. So I have to do the dishes whether I think I really want to do them or not. Then I get to go on my walk, which I kind of really do want to do. Yeah. Okay. Second string out of 6. So does it give you an idea how much time it's going to take to get this done? Anyway, hey, one thing you can't fault me too much on, at least in the area of this, is that I'm transparent with you guys. I mean, there's always going to be people that can test that, you know, because there's people that haters say if I don't do what they want me to do or say what they want me to say, I'm not being transparent. But that's assuming that what they're saying is the truth. And if what they're saying is not the truth, and therefore it's not my truth, I'm not being non-transparent by not saying that what they think is the truth. If I say to you, if I go up to you and say that you're not being transparent unless you admit that you are really from Mars, otherwise you're just not being transparent. But you're really not from Mars, and you know you're not. Then you're not being transparent by not saying you're from Mars, because that's not your truth. But I could sit there all day and go, but you're not being transparent because you're not admitting you're from Mars. Well, that's what the haters basically have done to me, or maybe still are. I don't know. I don't even read the comments anymore. Basically, to be honest with you guys, I just read. I hardly ever look at the comments. But in the old days when I used to look once in a while, people would say, "You're not being transparent because you're not saying this. Tell us this if you want to be transparent." Well, fuck you. That's not my truth, and that's not the way it is. You're not saying what you're saying me to say is not the truth. And it's not my truth because it's not the truth. Therefore, I'm not being non-transparent by not doing X that you say to do. I mean, you guys should understand that, right? It's basic logic. If it's not my truth, then I'm not being transparent by not saying it. No matter how many times you say this to prove I'm transparent, if that's not my truth, then go fuck yourself. Excuse my bad language. Whatever. Okay, that's the second string. Now the third string. Yeah. Okay. Also, the moderator was happy with me for the video I made. that where I dealt with hate on my level. He was happy with it. He said it's you know, it made its it made its point. So he's like he moderates the comments. I don't know how if you guys love me and have comments, well, I'm sorry if I don't get to them, because by the time I just don't do it. I don't have time. And when I do it, I often read hate, and I really don't need to read hate. I don't need to do it. So it's the haters that spoil that, not you. That if you guys like me and give me good comments, it's not your fault. Hopefully, not even mine that I don't always read them, because I go right next to your comment. It's going to be some asshole saying some stuff that's going to put me down a rabbit hole if I'm not careful, and I don't need that. I don't need that experience. So I end up not reading them at all, which means I don't end up reading the good ones, which would be nice if I could change that, but I just don't have time, and I don't want to go down rabbit holes reading the comments that are next to those. So I apologize. I do appreciate good comments. I really do. If the next guy under that is going to say, yeah, well, then I just don't need that. You know, I don't need the experience. I'm not saying it bugs me because it's actually true. I just don't need to read that crap. It doesn't do me good to read crap about me, true or not. In this case, not. Just for the sake of for itself. I don't need to read hate just to keep me going and get me up in the morning and make me have a good day. It just doesn't work that way for me. I don't need to read it. So if that means I have to not read a lot of the comments, I apologize in advance or already for those that make good comments. In fact, the matter is, tells me sometimes the comments are getting better, but I just don't. I'm a content creator, not an analyst after the fact. I just not my main purpose. You know, if you guys like it, I love that you do, but I'm off to make new content, and I'm still making content after that. I can't stop making content to see what you guys thought of my content. That makes me an analyst, not a content creator, and I'm a content creator. Haters may think otherwise, but I do create content. Content is videos, and I do create them. You got a problem with that? Do I not even? If I have no videos, how do you make fun of me? Where's your material? Well, it's because I make videos, which is called making content, which means I'm a content creator. Oh, is that just, or is it, you know, whatever. You understand, I think. Well, string here. Okay. Third string. In fact, now that I really have lots to say on my guitar, actually now, that I'm just not saying, like, it's not spilling the beans about, but yet paradoxically and kind of ironically, that's actually similar words, I have to change strings right now instead of do that. So, but it needs to be done. So, oh, that's my 7 stacks of CDs behind me. You can't see all 7. I'm almost sure you can't see them all, but they're there. 7 stacks of CDs back there. So that's how I learn. That's how I learn my music. That's how I do it. I go to the CD. If in a rare case, I'll do Pandora. If I don't have the CD and there's no way of getting it, like when I did Roxette, the look, I don't have that. And I didn't want to buy Roxette CD just because for that one song. And not only that, the record store was closed because it was a holiday or a Monday, or not a Monday, but a weekend or a holiday or something. Or it was past, I don't know. I didn't have a chance to even check to see if I wanted to get the Roxette CD. Now that I did the song, I'm glad I didn't buy it, because it would have been kind of unnecessary, because they were just a one-hit wonder. So I did Pandora. I looked up the look by Roxette on Pandora, but I still learned it by ear. I didn't learn it on tap. People, if you think, to me, it seems that if your best hate comment is I use tablatures, you're on shaky ground. Because first of all, that's not true. Second of all, that's a very weak accusation, and it's easily proven not true by anyone that looks at some of the things I've done. How to get the guitar tab for Benny and the Jets, which I did do. You think I found that on content? I found that I did that on guitar tab. Benny and the Jets. Yeah, those chords. I just got that off the. I did tabs on that, right? Where'd I get them? Show me the tabs. You try it on tab. Find it. Okay, thought so. I don't, I learned by ear. I've even shown the process of me learning by ear on some of my videos once or twice. I've done that. I've actually shown. I don't do it all the time. So I like to. I don't need to prove every detail. I don't need to prove it. Some people are going to hate me and think things aren't true no matter what I do. So why you can't take it that seriously? It's not a fair game. A game that's rigged does not get to be taken that seriously. If the haters already hate me no matter what I do, it's a rigged game. And why take a rigged game seriously? You've already lost, so just enjoy yourself. It's game theory, which I didn't really completely take that because I'm not a math major. I'm an engineering major at Harvard College, but there's a thing called game theory. And there's a little bit of philosophy added with game theory. If a game's hopeless, don't play it. If you think this about me, no matter what I do, then good. I don't have to do anything because nothing I do is going to help. So why do anything? It's when you have a chance of success that you do a game, not because if you're hopeless. If a game has already been lost or won, don't play it. It's already been played. So just don't waste your time. So that's my idea on some of those things, like my hair. Some people said I had a wig. Problem is, later on they said I was starting to have a bald spot. Well, how does a wig get a bald spot? Oh, I don't know. Well, then I guess I don't have a wig or I don't have a bald spot. Take your fucking pick. Wigs don't get bald spots. Either I don't have a bald spot or I don't have a wig. Take your pick. Okay. Actually, whatever. Actually, if you're gonna hate me, it's okay. You can hate me, but I'm good at logic. So, making a mistake like that actually, weakens your case because you don't get to say two things that both are mutually contradictory, that are mutually exclusive, they call it, and then make both of those things true. And if one of them isn't true, then you're a liar, at least on one of them, if not both. And if you're a liar, then your hate is untrue, and you're just trying to hide that from somebody so no one knows your hate is untrue, or I don't know. If your hate is not true, that makes you at fault, not me. It makes you a hater without cause. Like being accused of wearing a wig is being hated without cause. You guys realize that, right? Like, I don't wear a wig, but yet I had to endure people saying, especially Biz, you asshole, that I wear a wig. And it took him years to get over that. But I never did wear a wig. So who's at fault here? Hate isn't true just because it's hate. Hate can be false just like anything else can be false. True? Or is that not true? Hate is always true. They hated Jesus Christ. Does that make them right? Well, you worship him. Well, somebody didn't, or he wouldn't have been on that cross, would he? Somebody did to Jesus a lot of what you guys do to me, the haters. Maybe worse than that. Maybe worse than what you did to me. But I'm just saying the idea is the same. He got unjustly accused, and now he's worshipped. You see an inconsistency there? How do you know what I'll be received as in 100 years? You don't know that. You don't know that. You don't know how I'll be looked at when you're not even here or I'm not here, and yet you might be on the wrong side of history on that issue. But whatever. Think what you want. Actually, don't think what you want. Think what I want. Just kidding. Okay, here I go. Fourth string. Streamlined or convenient, they make it faster. Who wants to do that by hand? Oh well, right? Okay, first string's on here. Okay, that's 4 out of 6 that are on. Then you have to tune them and all that good stuff. Sorry for lashing out at Biz, but it felt good. Doesn't that justify it? Aren't we all Machiavellian here? Felt good to say it. Got it off my chest, so I said it. Sorry, but doesn't make, I'm not perfect. but neither are any of you, but that's okay. We all make mistakes then, right? Okay, I gotta get the fifth string has to come off first, actually. That is the fifth string. 42, 32, yeah. Okay, let's get this apart. Funny thing about Jesus, he was the only perfect man, supposedly, but how come there's no historical record of him other than the Bible? How come Romans don't have them in their history books? Well, he did all these amazing things that there's no record of other than the Bible. Isn't that suspicious? Or is it not suspicious? I don't know. If Jesus really did those things, how come he's not in secular history books? Jesus walked on water, and the emperor Pontius Pilate saw it and was amazed. That shit would happen if he really did that. It would be documented by secular authorities, not just some book called the Bible that we're supposed to believe in, because nobody would believe it if you weren't supposed to, and or weren't threatened with hell, LOL, if you don't believe it. Why should I believe something that doesn't have any intellectual justification? It has the evidence shows it's not true, and yet I'm supposed to believe it because if I don't, I'm going to go to hell. Well, then fucking send me to hell then. Because I believe what I believe, not what I'm supposed to believe or what I have to believe or what I'm afraid to not believe. I still believe what I believe, and I believe if he really existed, he'd be in history books, not just the Bible. Which even that's in, because how come there's all kinds of inconsistencies there. Paul never. I don't know. The word Trinity isn't even in the Bible. Can you guys get that one too? The word Trinity is never said in the Bible, and yet it's a main doctrine of Christians, and yet it's not even found in the Bible, which you would think it would be, don't you think? The Trinity, Father, Son, and Holy Ghost, never once mentioned in the Bible, and yet believed by billions, literally. So why do we believe it? Because the Bible says it, but the Bible doesn't say it. So why do we believe it? Because people said it, the Bible says it, or people said that it's true. Do I believe everything that people say the Bible said, or do I believe everything people say is true? No. That's called being stupid, not having faith. Or it's faith in stupidity, which is still not a good thing in my book. But whatever. Why isn't it? Anyway. Enough of that little soapbox. People go on their religious soapbox, I do too, and mine's just in the opposite direction. I'm against Christ, but it doesn't mean I'm going to go on about it all the time. But, okay, here we go. Fifth string. And when people come at me about Christ, it just, then all they're doing is winding me up to go against it. It gives me more material to use next time I'm against Christ. So just, if we all shut up, it might actually solve part of that conundrum. Because I'm not going to believe in Christ. I'm just going to get pissed off and show you why what you said isn't true, and I don't believe it. Which doesn't have to happen if you don't tell me that in the first place. But since people start that with me, and it just gets me wound up in the opposite direction. This is what happens. Because I know the Bible too. I don't know how many of you guys. Are all of you guys Bible scholars that say you're Christians? You guys just went to. I went to 17. I went to church twice a week for 17 years, so I'm not stupid with the Bible. I just don't believe in it. And if it were true, I don't follow it. But it's more than that. I also don't believe it. I don't believe it or follow it, independent of each other. How's that? Okay. Okay. If it were true, I'd still want to go to hell, where I'm free and can do what I want, and not just sit around walking streets of gold that everybody else gets to walk on too. If gold is for everybody, it's not worth anything. It'd be like saying, if there was a land where there's no cement, they could say, oh my God, Earth is so great. It's people walking around in cement, but we all walk around on cement. It's not worth anything here. If we all walk on the streets of gold, it's not worth anything. We all do it. It'll cease to matter. Who cares, first of all, if you're walking on gold? It doesn't help you any. And if everyone else is doing it, it's not worth anything. Same with ruling in heaven. I'm going to have a crown, a casting crown. If I'm having a crown, but so does everybody else, the crown doesn't mean anything, and therefore it's not a crown, or at least not a meaningful one. It's either meaningless or worse, purports to mean something that isn't true. It's leading. It's It's promoting a false image or truth. If everybody has a crown, then the crown is worthless. We can't all rule over each other all the time, everywhere, and in any one place. If everybody has a crown, it's not worth anything because there's nobody that doesn't have a crown. So we can't all be ruling. We can't all be ruling if there's no one else but us. If I have 10 people in a room and they all have crowns, and that's all people that really exist, the crown is meaningless because somebody has to really rule. If everybody doesn't, not everybody can't rule if everybody has a crown. So therefore, the crown is meaningless. So just take your crown off and go walk on your streets of gold, which also is meaningless or worthless. And what's the point? Just because I don't want to go to hell? Well, fuck you. I'll go to hell. That's just me, though. But whatever. At least I get to do what I want in hell and more of what I want while I'm here on earth. And that's if there's a hell. And plus, I'm not even God to say whether I'll go to hell or not. Even I might not go to hell. I don't know that. It's not my choice. Am I the judge of myself? Then I'll choose to go to heaven. But I don't get to do that, do I? God chooses that. Otherwise, everybody would choose heaven. At least most people. So if God's choosing it, not me, and I don't even know if it really exists or is true because it likely isn't, then why should I be afraid of it? And not only that, I've been through some hells, not literal hell, but I've been through hells already in this earth that numb me to that kind of fear because I've already been to a lot of these places. Not physical, but I've been through a lot of hells. So if haters want to scare me, that's good. I can be scared. I'm just human, whatever. But a lot of it isn't scary because I've been there. Okay, last thing is on. It's not strung, but it's in the bridge. Sorry for if this is boring. I apologize in advance and now. So here's the 6th string. I just chose to have you guys with me when I did this. That's all. It's not like I think this was entertaining. Oh wow, he's changing strings, isn't that? Watch now, he's on the 6th one. Oh well. Well, I just documented the process. I had to do it anyway, so I just wanted to let you guys in on it. So that's all. Okay, 6th string. And yeah, that's enough. Okay. Things wind in a hurry, don't they? They wind fast, quickly. I don't know if fast is fast an adjective or an adverb. I don't know. If a rabbit is fast, is he running? Is he fast or is he running fastly? I don't know. English grammar. Okay, yes. Bring that last sucker up. Now they're all on. So what I like to do before I tighten them, like I alluded to before, is put it level with my whammy bar. See? And making it level by just physically putting it level, and then I tighten them. So it kind of has a chance to be at a level position when it's actually tuned. See? And then I'm almost done. You guys can, if this is boring, like I said, sorry about that. There, just tighten them up a little bit. Tighten them, don't tighten them so hard that they come loose, of course. Make them all, make it feel like they're all even, because you're not really tuning, you're just setting the bridge level, putting tension on the strings. Tuning is more fine adjustment than this is. This is not really tuning, it's just getting the bridge kind of level with the string tensions. And then good to do this while you're doing that. Tighten them, make sure they're still tight in there because they can come looser. When you pull them on them, even if they're tightened at first, if you pull on the string, it'll come to loosen them in the bridge. That means you have to retighten as you pull them. It just works that way. So a lot of these were tight already, but then since I pulled on them, it loosens them a little bit. So I got to retighten them. Or at least it should retighten them. You don't have to, but I would. Okay. All right. Does that look about? Did I get it too high? No, it's okay. Release it a little down. We didn't have it level enough. That's about level. Great. Not too bad. Okay, so now it's basically, now I'm going to tighten them once more. As long as you don't strip them, you can't really tighten them too much. You know, you can't. It's better to make sure they're all tight than just say, well, they're good, and then lose one. One pops out of there. That's not a good look. Okay. Strings are on, they're just not in tune. So I'm gonna. So these. These are tuned a whole step apart, and this one's going to be tuned between them. So this black guitar is tuned to E, white guitar is tuned to D. I'm going to tune this one to E flat. So if that's going to be an E, that will be right here. Okay? Oops. Tighten them again. Get a little tight here. All right. Cool. Okay, she's over rock and roll.